'Tis a damn tough life, full of toil and strife, we whalermen undergo.
Good morning. This is day one of my bread and water challenge. This is an age-old non-judicial punishment, or NJP, for disobedient sailors, and remained on the books of the United States Navy until January 1st of last year. It was used irregularly, though on one ship, the USS Shiloh, based in Japan, became known as the USS Bread and Water for the frequency of how this punishment was meted out. All in all, this isn't a bad punishment in itself. It's over in 3 days, as long as it's not combined with 45 days of restriction, extra duty, reduced pay, or loss of rank. As a naval officer, I felt it was unfair that I was never under threat of this punishment. Only enlisted members would have been subjected to bread and water in their rookie ranks of E1, E2, and E3. And it was never applied to midshipmen, officers in training. Upon these impressionable sailors, bread and water is thought to teach the virtues of temperance and self-control. One common mistake is that a sailor riding in the brig, often before the mast or the bumpiest part of the vessel forward end of the ship, would eat an entire loaf of bread for his meal, and thus become bloated and seasick. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Why am I doing this bread and water challenge right now? My pantry is almost empty, so no more veggies or tuna in there, but plenty of flour and water and baking soda. Finishing day one of my bread and water challenge, it looks like I ate through a half loaf of bread. This bread is called a brioche roll, and came from Trader Joe's, imported from La France. It's a very good buttery loaf, and comes out to about 40 cents a slice, which is a great deal for something that tastes like a pastry. I mean, it's great toasted and all, but if I wasn't on the bread and water challenge, I'd put little garnishments like jelly onto this slice of bread. But as you can see, it takes a lot of bread slices to keep you satisfied.
Hoping some fine day to see.
Feeling okay so far. A little bit of weight gain.
Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui.
Oh man, it's 11:20 at night, and I really can't sleep right. I don't know, I just feel anxious. I got aches in various places, primarily joints, fingertips, and into the back. I don't know how people live like this. Somehow they do. It's really difficult to be some food insecure person. Anyway, I'm going to try to get some sleep. At least tomorrow's going to be day 3, and this will all be over soon. Good morning. Welcome to day 3 of my bread and water challenge. Bread and water was a punishment used by the U.S. Navy for disobedient sailors, primarily on board the ship. Now, one thing about the punishment was it was reserved for junior enlisted sailors, so officers were never at risk of the bread and water punishment. I wanted to see, how one handles living for 3 days on bread and water. Of course, there are a few differences. When you're in punishment, they keep you in the brig, so you are not really doing arduous or difficult labor. Whereas in my situation, have to do a little bit of brain work for my day job. But anyhow, this is the bread for today, and let me just tell you the recipe. It's gonna be 1 cup flour, 1/4 cup sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 cup milk, 2 tablespoons of oil, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix it together, put in a loaf, and bake for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. Now if you notice, I'm using a matzo cake meal. Now the difference here is it's finely ground, and as a result I had to adjust the recipe a bit, bring the water up to a 1-to-1 ratio. So that's going to be 1 cup milk to 1 cup of cake meal. And the way I got the matzo was actually at my local supermarket. It was after Passover, so they're giving away at a fire sale. I think I got it for about 50 cents a can. So that's how I got the matzo cake meal. So it turns into a denser loaf, which I kind of like. You also have to increase the cooking time from 20 minutes in the oven at 350 up to 35 minutes. And yesterday I made the same recipe, but I ate through the loaf by 6 p.m. So being on bread and water changes your your eating pattern, and I ate through that loaf at 6 p.m. So today I'm doubling the recipe, and maybe this will last me for the whole day. Man, it's 4 p.m. on day 3, and I've just spent this whole afternoon just pacing my living room. I really can't concentrate right now on the things I should be doing, like work and study. So I'm just glad that this is gonna be over, in not too many hours from now. Looking forward to breakfast tomorrow. Except it's gonna be Friday, so no meat, but I can cook up some eggs, and oh man, I'm just looking forward to it. So I think you call this a matzo ball. For the final meal on bread and water, I took some bread and put in a pot of boiling water with salt, and just like a matzo meal, it was quite delicious and filling. I must say that the ancient Jews got it right all along. Oh, that's blood. So it's evening of day 3. I survived the bread and water challenge. Yay. Now, actually came across something related to merchant seamen, and looks like their lot is tougher than Navy sailors. Quoting from Title 46 of the U.S. Code, Section 11501, Penalties for Specified Offenses. The seaman, at the discretion of the master, may be confined on water and 1,000 calories, with full rations every 5th day until the disobedience ends. So, essentially, that's not a loaf of bread for every meal. That's a loaf of bread for the whole day. And this is still on the books. And surprisingly, it was published in 1983. That's very recent. So, have a good one, y'all.